The junior choir at Emmanuel every Easter would sing The Holy City. It would culminate weeks of practice. It was a beautiful production every year, not just musically, but visually, because Mrs. Brangan, our choir directress, got into that song in a way that she did with no other song. As the song progressed and built, her arms would wave faster and faster and bigger. The daggered sleeves would blow in the wind, and you thought at moments she would take off. And then we would come to that point where she would swoop down low and rise up high, enticing the words, Jerusalem, Jerusalem, lift up your gates and sing. Hosanna in the highest, Hosanna to your King. What a climax. And it is the Holy City, the New Jerusalem, that is the climax of the revelation of John. The appearance of the new heaven and the new earth are now joined by the appearance of the New Jerusalem descending from God. While the city of Babylon was depicted as a whore, the New Jerusalem comes as a bride, personifying the community that follows the Lamb. This is God's city. Babylon and its violence and destruction and its obsession with wealth will fall, but the New Jerusalem will stand forever. The city itself reveals the future and glory of God's people. In the New Jerusalem, both the tribes of Israel and the apostles belong to one and the same God. We find an angel measuring out Jerusalem to show the spectacular design. The square was the ideal for a city in Greco-Roman culture. Its size is beyond imagination, and its splendor is a smorgasbord for one's eyes. This is no earthly city. There is nothing to compare here. This is God's city. Unlike the cities addressed at the opening of the Revelation, there is no temple in this city. The only temple is the presence of God and of the Lamb. The vision of a new Jerusalem calls the nations to a new vision. Rather than violence and destruction, they are called to walk in the light, to do what is true and just and in harmony with God's will. The throne of God and of the Lamb takes center stage in this New Jerusalem. While creation imagery dominates this vision, it's not a return to the primordial paradise. The images of the river of life flowing from God give us a sense of life for the faithful. And the tree of life connects us to God, rooted in God, and in the biblical tradition of Eden. It brings healing to the nations. In the New Jerusalem, sin has been overcome, so that the curse is now lifted. Pain, grief, death will be no more, and we will behold God face to face. Revelation gives the role of the priest to the whole people, a role of prayer and praise. All will now share fully in the life brought about through the reign of God and the Lamb. I'd like you to approach reflecting on this particular section a little differently than we have been doing in the past. I'd like you to reread the section. Close your eyes then, and picture what you have just read. Focus on the sensory, the sights, the sounds, the smells, the feeling. And then sit with it for a while until that image becomes real for you. One of the things you may want to do is to find a copy of The Holy City or a version of it. There are many on YouTube or the internet. Charlotte Church has an especially beautiful one. You may want to just sit and ponder this New Jerusalem as you listen to that beautiful song. Next time we will bring to a close the final piece of Revelation, so I hope you will join me. Thank you for being here.